this event happened just a couple of days ago. It was the New Zealand mosque shooting.
Yeah.
A man who some call a white supremacist, which he had white nationalist writing in his manifesto. Others are calling a socialist, which he also had socialist writings,
He was an environmentalist.
activism. Yep. And so the guy was kind of all over the board. But one thing that pushed him to the edge was his hatred for Islam, his hatred for Muslims, the Muslim invasion idea. And he shot up 2 mosques, ended up killing, 50 people?
50 people. And one thing that wasn't reported for some reason was it was a gun owner who stopped him.
Chased him out, yeah.
Right? So we're not going to talk about what most people talk about. I think the issue is it gets over-politicized. One of the things the Australian Prime Minister did was automatically go to gun control. Instead of mourning the loss, and we probably talked about that for 20 minutes, all the loss, the people, but man, that's why we need gun control.
Yeah.
Do you realize a gunman stopped that guy? So, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I think, again, like, we're not going to talk about media because everybody did that. Media's only covering a biased side of it. We're not going to talk about gun control and none of that stuff. Well, here's what we're going to talk about. Why can't we talk about this guy in its true setting? He was full of sin and hatred. Bottom line. Here's the problem, Christians. I don't care what you think about Islam because I'm not for it either. As a matter of fact, I think the religion's bogus. That's just my personal opinion, okay? Right? But God is willing that none should perish, but that all should come to repentance. My job isn't to condemn them. They're condemning themselves under God's purview. That's not me. That's God's standard. If you don't like that, take it up with the author. That's not my call. But my job is to still go out there and preach and love them. Not to praise what's going on. They shouldn't be talking about this guy saying he's a white nationalist. Somehow Trump had something to do with it.
Yeah.
All these things. Yeah. It's like, dude, he was crazy. He was crazy. It had nothing to do with anybody. He made his own choice. He was in sin. What did you think was going to happen? Any sinner in his right mind will do. So let me say this. Nobody blames the porn industry for rape. I've never seen it. When someone rapes somebody, it's in the front paper. Nobody blames the porn industry. Nobody. Oh, that guy, he's bad. He should be this and that. But we blame a president for what this dude did? It was sin, flat out. And we can't keep letting people continue the narrative. The only reason they have a voice is because we've let them win the narrative. Bottom line is, Democrats today have the monopoly on the words love and hate. When the Christians have Jesus, who's the monopoly on the words love and hate. And we don't reference that enough. And we've talked about this before. Yeah. This whole thing is a sin issue. And we're letting them control, right? And so people now, the Republicans are like, oh, man, no, I don't think it was it Trump? Was it? No, nothing to do with him. I'm not justifying President Trump at all in his rhetoric or what he's done in the past. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the man has his own decision to make. Look, I don't agree with President Trump's rhetoric sometimes, but it doesn't make me want to go shoot him. There's people out there that love President Trump, but I know a lot of them. They ain't going to go shoot people. They're not going to shoot Muslims. You know what they're doing? They're trying to go preach to the Muslims and win them over.
There's a lot of proof. A lot of people talk about how these events are getting more rampant, these mass shootings. Now, it really depends on the definition of mass shooting. But we've got to look at, there is no common thread in the grand scheme of these mass shootings. There was one that just happened in the Netherlands today. Today is Monday. There was a Turkish guy was shooting up a train station. We had the Las Vegas shooter. We had the San Bernardino shooter. We had Elliot Rogers, the estranged kid in a BMW or something driving around shooting people. Like, there's no direct correlation between these shooters. And the problem is every time you have an event, everybody's looking for, okay, which side was it that did it? Was it the far-right white nationalist Trump supporter? Or was it the liberal, progressive Bernie Sanders supporter shooting up the baseball field? And each time these events happen, we forget there are a whole lot of events that happened in the past that supported everybody else.
That's exactly it.
So we've got to find the common denominator, which is exactly what you're talking about. It's not
Political.
just the gun. It's not just the policies or the politics. It's the sin. It's the moral.
Straight up.
It's an ideology that gets perverted or extreme enough to where it becomes violent. Any ideology can become violent, taken extreme enough. Environmentalists have been known to bomb people because they believe it's saving Mother Earth. Now we have this whole movement of everybody should basically kill themselves to save Mother Earth. That drawn out
exists.
extreme enough, it does. There's a professor that is now pushing this of, I believe in population control and we should start eugenics programs, basically. It's you first.
Exactly. And you know what's crazy, dude? Even groups like trying to normalize pedophilia and stuff. 10 years ago, we were saying this is going to happen if we continue to let sin run rampant in America.
And we were told, no, it's impossible.
You're crazy. That'll never happen. Dude, that's what sin does. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Right? Like us. What did I think was going to happen, right? If I sat back and let termites eat the wood, per se.
The building will fall.
Exactly. What do you think's going to happen? This is the reason all of us in church need to be about the Lord's business and going and making disciples of all nations.